morning, everyone. Welcome, and please join in with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, good morning and welcome, and I'd like to thank the city to open their doors for us to hold this meeting. Makes it very convenient. So, any disclosures of interest? Hearing none, review and approve the September 4th, 2012 regular board meeting minutes.
So move.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, all yes.
Would you pull your microphone down so you can hear you?
Okay, thank you. Hearing none, I guess we'll vote. Have we voted?
No.
There's no discussion. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Review and approve September 18th, 2012 board meeting agenda.
Motion to approve.
Anyone have anything to add? I should ask.
Second.
Yeah, let me say something. I was approached by, or I talked to Marie McNamara. She's got a few handouts for us. They're not going to be on the agenda, but if you get the opportunity, you can hand them out or leave them on the table or give them to Andrea, so we get them. So there will be nothing. The agenda will not be amended. So, all in favor of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Review and approve following items on the consent agenda. There are 3.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Human Resource Director's Report. This is concerning our dental insurance. And you have an attachment.
Yes.
Thank you.
There's one item regarding the dental insurance. The insurance committee met on August 28th and discussed the 2013 dental insurance plan. As you can see, the rates for our current plan with Assurant were going to increase approximately 6%. Working through the Oaks agency, they looked for a different insurance company that would provide us better rates because our rates just keep going up and up and up. And they came back with a proposal from United Healthcare, which is their rates are also listed on the report. And there's a significant savings with the rates, anywhere from 29 to 54% savings. So the insurance committee is recommending that we switch to United Healthcare for the voluntary dental program.
Okay, you've heard the request.
And this is it came before the insurance committee, and this is cost borne by the employees, not the county. It's optional for the employees to participate. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
That's quite a savings. Is the care going to be somewhat the same, or?
It's the same exact dental program as we currently have, except there's an additional feature called a consumer max multiplier, where if the employee has a maximum benefit of $1,000 per year, and if they don't use that entire $1,000, there's some of it that will roll over to the following year. So that's an additional benefit that they don't currently have.
Well, that sounds like a good benefit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Public Works Director's Report. This is concern funding, I guess, for township bridges, which is a good thing.
Good morning.
Morning.
If you remember back last February, we revised our bridge priority list. And we put at the top of that list 5 bridges that were either fully or partially closed. Since that time, we've replaced a bridge for Zumbrota. That one's in and done and finalized. We've been working with Roscoe Township, and they took them a long time to find out what kind of FEMA money that they had received back in the fall of 2010. And we've decided we're going to build a bridge there. Culverts aren't going to work in that location. So that project is going to be constructed next year. And we are working with the state to get some flood bond money for that bridge. So that one's taking a little longer than normal, and won't happen until next year. The ones I want to talk to you about now are the 3 that we really want to get done with yet this year. Our top priority is the Southern Bridge and Holden. They're both on 20th Avenue. The southern one is the one that is our top priority because if the Zumbro River comes up, these people are basically landlocked, can't get in and out. And we should have enough money in the town bridge account to pay for that one. Shouldn't be any kind of an issue. The second one that's on our list is Bell Creek. That bridge on 362nd Street has been closed. We have some town bridge monies to pay for that one, but we don't have enough. Now, we talked to the township, and the township said that they would actually advance to us the remainder of the funds that we need to get that thing constructed. So we're hoping that we'll have construction in November, so they may need to borrow us a little bit of money in November, December, and then the states will reimburse us town bridge monies when the allocation gets put in January of 2013. So they'll get reimbursed those dollars. And the last one that I really want to talk to you about is the Northern Holden Township Bridge. Now, once we get down to the Bell Creek one, of course, there's no more money left in this year's town bridge account. So we have 2 questions out there for Holden. The first question is do they really need to get it replaced yet this fall, or could they wait till next spring? If they wait till next spring, then we just use our town bridge monies next spring to build that one. But we haven't heard back from them yet. So we asked them if it really needs to happen yet this year, and we asked them if they had any money to help advance for it, and the same thing that Bell Creek did, where we'd need basically to borrow some money from them for a short period of time and get reimbursed in January of 2013. What I really want to talk to the board about, though, is if they don't have enough money to pay for the whole project, would the commissioners have any concern if Carolyn actually advanced some money for these projects? I talked to her about it. She would have some money available. Again, it'd be a matter of paying the contract in November, December, get reimbursed in January. So really that's the question for the board in front of you is if we hear back from Holden that they really need to get this thing done before the snow flies again, and if we can get the project ready, are the commissioners okay with us having Carolyn advance some monies out of her accounts to advance the construction of this project? Should be reimbursed then in January of 2013 when the state refills their coffers and reallocates town bridge account monies.
Commissioner Etzikel.
Would there be a potential for savings because the Holden bridges are fairly close to each other if you were to have a contractor that, they could come in and do one and then the other? Would we realize savings there? Well,
we may realize savings, but it may also cost us time. And my biggest concern right now is time.
Okay.
As late as we are in the season. We were going to try to put the 2 Holdens and the Bell Creek one together, but then if you have a small contract like, say, Schumacher, who does excellent work out there, but then he's only working at one at a time, and it stretches it out. In this case, when we get each one ready, we want to advertise it, we want to get the thing bid, so we can get them out there, and hopefully, theoretically, we could have 3 different contractors working on all 3 bridges at the same time.
If we were to move forward with it today, how long does it take for you to get the bids advertised, get them back, and before they can start construction?
We're still at least a month out before we'd be opening bids, and then it's going to be several weeks after that for them to make the pipe. So we're talking at the earliest here around Thanksgiving for these projects.
And when does the construction season, what's the latest we can go?
Depends on the winter. Depends on when the snow flies.
Yep.
We did one year, a couple years ago, we actually started a project on the 15th of December. And what's nice is, these are on gravel roads compared to a paved road, so if we don't have a lot of frost on the ground, you can remove the old one, you can put the new one in. Sometimes you don't get the best road surface over the top of it if you're working in some frozen conditions. But being a gravel road, you can come back in the springtime and you can fix them up and repair them. You know, it's a different, if it's a paved road, then and the paved road has to stay as a gravel road with a lot of traffic on it, that's much more of a concern. But on gravel roads, it's not as much of a concern.
Well, I guess my thought, is if the money's coming in anyway in January, then it's just a matter of the paperwork timing of, when the dollars were going to come in. These are bridges that are closed. People are not driving through them. And I'd hate to get into a wet, rainy spring and either A, have that cause problems for people trying to travel out there, or B, push back, the construction schedule even further. So if the money's going to come in January anyway, and we have the dollars to cover the contracting cost, I would move that we go forward and work with the township, see what they can advance, whatever they can't, we do, and as long as those dollars are coming back from the state in January anyway. So I'll make that a motion.
Second.
Discussion?
Just a question, I guess.
Yes.
On these two bridges, are they closed as a result of the flooding
No, these are some
of the construction? Is those the old wood timber
these are
ones?
old wood timber ones that just deteriorated. Correct. Yep.
They're completely closed? Or is there one, I thought I read there was traffic one lane.
The Roscoe one was the one that was damaged by the flood in the fall of 2010, and that one is partially open. So that one they can get by on, basically it's the southbound lane is closed.
But that's not on this?
Excuse me?
We're not talking about that bridge.
No, that's the one that we're going to replace with a bridge next year, and we'll use some of the state's flood bonding monies to pay for that one.
So if we get this repaired, and will we get back on the normal scheduling of bridge, as far as bridges? I mean, we had a list, and now we've.
Yeah, we hopefully by next year we'll be back to Leon Township would be the next culvert that would be replaced, and then after that would be Stanton, and then we should try to get back on track where we were before.
It's kind of hard, though, when things like this come up. If I may, Mr. Chairman. They come up with the bridge deteriorates, or if you have flooding, or, you can plan all you want, but you have to be ready to act or take a different route if something's throwing a different wrench into the system. So this is a good move to get that road opened up.
Oh, it's always good if we can work together, so.
Yeah.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Carried.
Mr. Chairman, can I,
Yes.
since we got the engineer here, County Road number 6, that's still closed too, right? On the one side.
7?
7, right?
Yeah, and we are hoping to get in there next Tuesday,
Okay.
is what our plans are.
Temporary fix. Or is that going to be the temporary fix or the permanent fix?
Well, part of it depends on the landowner that we need to acquire some property from is going to the Board of Adjustment to try to move a building site off of that, because if we come in and repair the road with the way we should repair it, it basically eliminates their building site. So they're going to the Board of Adjustment next week. We wrote a letter to support that they allow these people to move their building site so that they can cooperate with us, give us the additional right-of-way. We get the additional right-of-way, we get it built the right way in once.
Well, thank you for doing that.
You have something else on your agenda?
Yeah, I have one more item. This is related to the park at Lake Billsby out here. If you remember, we hired Sanders, Walker, and Burgley to finish a design for us to build a stair system to get up to the top of the bluff at this 7.5 acre site or part of the Lake Billsby Park. We've applied for the state's Park and Trails Legacy grants in the past, without being successful, and their application cycle has come up again. Now they do say in their literature that a project that has some local match dollars to it is going to be rated at a higher priority. Now, we talked about this at the Park and Trails Board. The Parks and Trails Board's first priority as far as expenditures related to the park would be the potential acquisition of properties adjacent to our park in conjunction with the DNR for the Middletowns Trail. But on the other side of the coin, they wanted to keep this project in front of these people who are reviewing these grants. So their recommendation of the county board is that we put in an application, but we don't put any local funding attachment to it. We're basically going to ask them to pay 100% of the project. So I don't know what the odds are if we're going to get it, but at least it keeps the project in front of them, and it keeps our priorities straight, that acquiring that property with the DNR would be our first priority. So with that, staff recommends that we submit the paperwork, submit the grant to them, and see what happens.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
I have one item. I'm not going to vote for it. One of the reasons why is I know it's free state money that we can jump on. It's out of a special legacy grant. But I think any money we get from the state that's up and beyond what we normally get for things like social services and that, everything around the state should be dedicated to things like number 9 and 52 overchange. It's about $500,000. I mean, you got projects all over the state like this, and I think the state should be focusing more the money on safety, such as projects like 9 and 52. I just don't agree with the way the state doles out money like this, free money. So.
Commissioner, I certainly appreciate your concern about 52. We're all concerned. But this is legacy money, and it's not going to go to 52. So you can vote against it, but if you want to change, I think you have to go to the legislature. Yes.
Just so everyone's familiar, this was passed by the voters in 2006, 2008, whatever, when it was on there to create this fund. And this money is to go to these kind of things. If you read the amendment, it's limited to going to trails and arts and environmental things, and the voters approved it. And so this is not a legislative decision. This is what the people of Minnesota voted for. They put it in the Constitution. So I don't know why we wouldn't want to access these dollars. We're not going to be able to fix number 9 by saying no to this. It just means that the rest of the state will be able to get trails and things built, and we won't. So I understand your concern, Commissioner, but it doesn't really fit with the fund or the grant that we're asking for.
Commissioner?
Yeah,
Right.
it's good to have the comments and discussion. I think Commissioner Allen's right about County Road 9, at least making the word out there, getting that comment. But then Commissioner Retzko is absolutely right on the ball there about this was voted on by the people, but through an amendment on the ballot. And it's legacy funds earmarked for certain things, and it can't be used for things that it doesn't qualify for. So we should put an application in to apply for these funds. I don't think they're free funds. I just think they're funds available to us, to anybody in the state, and we certainly should keep our project in front of their eyes so they see it too, because it does match what the legacy funds were created for. And we need to continue Highway 52. We've said at every meeting, we've met with local the congressional staff. Now we need the citizens to step up and help us by contacting our federal people and state people about that County Road 9 and 52, because we as a county have done some conversing and talking with our elected people also, but we need other people to step up and certainly, if they're interested and concerned about 952, express that to our state and federal elected people.
Yeah, just to make it really clear that this fund, that's that legacy money that was passed here a couple of years ago, and we're paying into it for the next 20 years, and it's just for arts and parks and so forth. And by me voting for this is not taking, I want to make clear, I'm not taking any money away from 52.
Correct.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Passes 41. Thank you.
Thank you.
County Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Mr. Chair. At the June 19th Committee of the Whole, staff was given direction to move forward with the marketing and the sale of the Citizens Building prior to moving forward with any of the Health and Human Services, with the next phase of the Health and Human Services building construction. At the July 17th County Board meeting, we presented a draft request for proposals that the County Board reviewed and talked about. We've taken your feedback and prepared the attached RFP. Staff has also scheduled 5 tours for interested parties coming up, and the proposals would be due November 20th, and it would be our intent that the County Board would review them at the December 6th meeting. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And Stacy Tooman, who also worked on this quite extensively, is also here, so, as well as Mr. Betcher.
Yes.
I think this is a good idea that you're going through you have a nice time frame and such. The question is, has there been, since the June meeting, interest?
There is interest. We got a fair number of calls right after that. We actually had people showing up at the building wanting a tour immediately and stuff. So, which obviously with the protected data in that building, we couldn't honor that. But yes, there's been a number of interested parties, and Mr. Betcher and myself have also attended meetings where there's been interested parties discussing options with the building. So.
Great.
So that, no action needed on that. Down to you, for your information.
I think it'd be better if you did actually approve the RFP.
Make a motion to
Okay, very good.
approve the request for proposal on the Citizens Building with the time frame spelled out in the memo and agreement.
Is there a second? I'll second it. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Now it's for your information. There are 3 items for you. Says Ron, for your information, I think some of you folks are here thinking that there was going to be something on the agenda about the wind project in Goodhue County, but with to the advice of our attorney, that it's not on the agenda today. It will be, I'm not sure which meeting it'll be, but you'll be notified by it'll be in the paper, so anything that we do, like that would be notified through the press. So with that, future meeting dates. Anything to add that didn't get on the list here? So,
Just a second. October, may I, Mr. Chairman?
yes,
October 1st, there's a regional radio board meeting in Rochester. I don't know if Commissioner Seiferd's going at all or not. And there's a technology meeting on October 25th at 8 a.m. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity.
any,
I have one, I think, 2 items.
Okay.
On the 15th of October, we have the Historical Society meeting. And also this Saturday night at 6 p.m. is the Hangar Dance sponsored by the Historical Society. And that's one of the venues that they use to raise money to support that operation. So just consider that if you can.
thank you. Anything else? Committee reports. Anyone have anything to report? Mr. Retzko.
I'll just mention, Andrea and I met with some of the city administrators and mayors and other city officials just talking about the future of library funding, and had just a good discussion about obviously the scarcity of resources and, of course, the concerns on the city's end to receive some funding to help pay for the rural customers who use the libraries. And what we had decided at the end was to have a group representing the cities come before the county board in a committee of the whole setting, just to explain where they're at, and we can explain where we're at and see what we want to do. It's good to just review it, because right now we have a plan in place that we've been using for quite a few years. We don't have to go in this direction, and what they're interested in is just seeing what we think about moving forward when it comes to library funding. So they should be coming to a committee of the whole sometime within about the next 2 months, I'm guessing. The only other thing I'll mention is last night we had Planning Commission, and we created a subcommittee to just go through the ordinance and review some of the numbers and things that we have in there that maybe we should look at as things get bigger. So we were looking at like size limits for accessory buildings in the A1 and A2 area, where there's a limit if it's non-agricultural. But we know boats are getting bigger and vehicles are getting bigger, and the question is, does that number need to change? We talked a little bit about the home occupations and the rules that we have out there once again in the A1 and A2 areas, where home occupations technically have to be limited to agricultural related things, and whether or not we want to continue with that, or if there's some home occupations that could fit into an agricultural area without disrupting that use. And we also have one that was brought up to me by a constituent out my way, that we require a 100-foot width driveway, right-of-way for a private driveway, and township and county roads only require 66 feet. And so the question of why are we requiring for a private driveway far more than what we'd require for a public road? So some of those little things that just need to be revisited, and so that'll come forward at some point to the Planning Commission, to the county board.
Thank you.
I was at the Welch Township Board meeting about 2 weeks ago. They came up with two items. One is that they passed a resolution that if the urban fringe area, I think, which is A3, they would like to see it go to A2 in the Welch area down the road. And the other item is that they're looking forward to making that Welch area like hamlet status, I think pretty much like Frontenac has. And so those are the two areas that they're moving on, is that hamlet status. I think they're really replicating what Frontenac has done in Jim's area.
Thank you. Anybody else? Commissioner?
Well, we already talked about the insurance committee, Commissioner Bryant and I. Mr. Chairman, you and I were at a meeting with the City of Red Wing talking about the law enforcement center, which I think we're coming to an agreement to continue Red Wing City Police having space in that law enforcement center. It works very well for the sheriff and the city to be in there. So we're looking forward to coming to some conclusions on that.
Right.
Nothing that hasn't been reported already, Mr. Chairman.
Very good. I'd just like to bring up a couple of things. I attended a Canada River Watershed Partnership meeting on Monday, and it was held at Faribault, Rich County. And the 13th, Commissioner Seifert and I attended the Hoodie County Park and Trail meeting. And in the evening, in the morning, that same day, I attended the EMS, Emergency Management Service, Rochester, and the workforce meeting in Rochester. So that concludes committee reports. Is that correct? Review and approve county claims.
So move.
Second.
New or old business. I noticed I'm looking at my date book here that tomorrow there's a nutrient management meeting at Ed McNamara's at 8:45, and I'm going to go to that meeting. I think if you're interested in conservation and keeping the water clean and so forth, that's a good meeting to go to. There'll be a lot of information for that meeting. So, and I guess I skipped over the claims. So, anybody want to pay the claims?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor of paying the claims, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now we're down to adjournment. Anyone want to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Stand adjourned. Thank everyone for coming.
We are sticking.